Known by some as the Bermuda Triangle of the Great Lakes, the Michigan Triangle is located in Lake Michigan and spans from Manitowoc, Wisconsin to Ludington, Michigan, and south to Benton Harbor. The triangle has laid its claim to planes, boats, and people for hundreds of years. It is said to account for more disappearances per unit area than its much better known counterpart, the Bermuda Triangle. The mysterious lake even has a structure much like Stonehenge located underneath its icy waters. Also, it is said to be the gathering place for strange lights, UFOs, and other paranormal occurrences. The following stories are only a few of the hundreds of events that have occurred in this most unusual stretch of water. One of the first documented events to happen in this mysterious area occurred in the late 17th century with the largest sailing vessel on the Great Lakes at the time, the Lake Griffon. The large ship landed on an island in Lake Michigan, where local tribes had gathered with animal pelts to trade with the French sailors. After gathering the pelts, the ship headed back toward Niagara Falls. What happened after leaving the island is a complete mystery. The huge ship, nor any of its crew, were ever seen or heard from again. The Michigan Triangle had claimed some of its first victims. In 1883, the crew on a wooden tugboat named the Mary McLane witnessed a most unusual event while on the lake. They reported that while sailing through the triangle on a clear day, their tugboat was pelted by 2-pound hailstones as large as bricks that hit the ship with such intensity that they caused large dents in its surface. This bizarre and dangerous event was said to have lasted for close to 30 minutes. Everyone on board was absolutely stunned by the situation that had unfolded before them. The crew saved one of the hailstones by storing it in the boat icebox. When back at the harbor, they were able to produce the huge hailstone when recounting their strange tale to the baffled people who they shared the event with. In 1919, people began to notice very bright lights in the sky over the triangle. One evening, 2 large fireballs were seen falling into the lake and creating an explosion with such intensity that it was reported that the ground shook. During this time, locals had also reported observing UFO activity in the area. As you might expect, whatever fell from the sky on that evening in 1919 has yet to be explained. In 1921, a ship named the Rosabelle was sailing with 11 passengers to Benton Harbor, Michigan to deliver a load of lumber. The ship was 100 feet long with a beam of 26 feet. It would never reach its destination. However, it was later found floating upside down in the lake. The ship appeared to have damage to its hull. It was suspected that it had possibly hit another ship and suffered terrible damage. However, there was no evidence of a collision, and no other boats reported being involved in an accident. The Coast Guard determined that a collision was not responsible for the harm done to the Rosabelle. No crew members were ever found, and the question as to what exactly the boat hit still remains unanswered. In 1937, Captain George Donner was sailing through the Michigan Triangle on a ship named the O.M. McFarland. Heading to Port Washington, Wisconsin, after picking up a load of coal, the tired captain decided to retire to his cabin for a nap before the ship's arrival at the port. He instructed the crew to wake him before they arrived. Just before arrival, the crew knocked on the captain's cabin door to alert him of their coming arrival at the port, but they got no answer. The door, which was locked from the inside, had to be knocked down in order for the crew to be able to enter the captain's cabin. When they entered the cabin, there was absolutely no sign of Captain Donner anywhere. The man appeared to have simply vanished from inside of a locked room. The crew searched the surrounding water and the ship itself, but Captain Donner was never to be seen again. In 1950, the Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 2501, with 55 passengers and 3 crew members, disappeared from radar while over the Michigan Triangle. On the way from New York to Minneapolis, the captain of the doomed flight asked for permission to descend to the cruising altitude of 2,500 feet because of unexpected turbulence. Permission to descend was never granted, and the flight stayed at 3,500 feet. The plane disappeared before ever reaching Minneapolis. Lake Michigan was dragged for wreckage of the plane, but none was ever found. With the presumed loss of all 58 people on board the aircraft, the event would become known as the deadliest commercial airliner accident in America at the time. Sadly, answers as to what exactly happened on that fateful flight have never been found. In 1978, college student Stephen Kabaki disappeared when he went on a solo cross-country skiing and fishing trip near Saugatuck, Michigan. His footprints were found near the ice of Lake Michigan. They went a small distance and then suddenly stopped, as if the man had just disappeared. 15 months after Stephen's disappearance, he was located around 700 miles from where he disappeared. He had absolutely no memory of what happened to him on the day of his disappearance near Lake Michigan. When he was found, Stephen stated that the only thing that he could remember was waking up in a field with a backpack that had strange maps inside of it. He also reported feeling very tired, as if he had been running for a long period of time. No answers as to what happened to Stephen during the 15 months of his disappearance have ever been found. In 2007, a Stonehenge-like structure was found underneath Lake Michigan's icy waters by a Michigan college professor named Mark Hawley. Mr. Hawley and his team were mapping shipwrecks in Lake Michigan when they discovered the strange rock formation around 40 feet below the surface of the water. They found that one of the structures had a picture of a mastodon on it, a creature that has been extinct for over 10,000 years. The mysterious structure features a very similar alignment to Stonehenge, which is also known to be a hotspot for unexplained occurrences. The exact location of the unusual structure has not been revealed, as research on it is still being conducted. Far more questions than answers seem to exist in this mysterious area of Lake Michigan. Perhaps one day we can finally know the answer as to who or what is causing the disappearances and strange occurrences surrounding the most deadly Great Lake in the United States of America. Thank you for watching Twisted Willow Pictures. Until next time, sweet dreams.